What's going on, everybody? It's that time of the month. For me, it is time to show off what I've been doing over the last month in additions to my collection. We are in December. I've got a pickup coming for December that I think I'm not gonna be able to wait. I'm gonna have to show everybody what the pickup is before December is over. So my December pickup video and my pickups from November, which is what this is, are gonna both happen during December. I've got a lot of other things planned for the month. I'm gonna do my look toward 2025 with my buddy Darren of Return to Collecting. We're gonna kind of review how 2024 went. I'm gonna talk, several people have said, Greg, do one of those videos where you do like your top 20 cards or 50 cards or 100 cards or whatever. And I'm like, I don't think people want to see 100 of my cards. So I think I might do like a top 25 cards, which I consider the top or the best cards or my favorite cards in my collection. And I'm going to do that. I got a lot of stuff going on. Now, if you're here and you clicked on the video because you're like, Greg, I want to see your pickups because I always like looking at pickup videos. I like looking at cards. You can feel free to fast forward. By the way, everybody, guys, you can always fast forward through stuff. And I get the impression a lot of people do. I think a lot of people probably 2x speed me or 1.5x speed me. No offense taken if that's what you do. But part of the fun for me is just kind of talking and sharing thoughts and feelings. And if that's not your thing and you want to fast forward, knock yourself out. I was in San Diego with my family, and I've talked about that. And one of the things that happened is we were sitting at dinner one night, and some friends we were at dinner. It was actually Thanksgiving dinner. We went out to a restaurant because we were in San Diego, and we were with another family that we're friends with, and they were talking to Molly. And because Molly is a very, very good golfer. She's a very good student. She's a sophomore in college, and she loves reading. Like, she loves reading. Like, her favorite thing is to read. And so I made a promise to her years ago. She was maybe 8. And I said, Molly, as long as you read the book that I bought you, I'll buy you another book. And it's not a gift. It's not a birthday present or a Christmas present or something. I just want you to read, and I love that you love reading. So if you read a book and you want another book to read, I will buy you another book to read. And she's like, well, how many books can I do that for? And I go, the rest of your life. If you want to read another book because you finished the book that you had previously been reading, I will buy you a book forever. Well, that girl has absolutely been getting her money's worth. She probably reads, I'd say 40 to 50 books a year. She absolutely loves to read. She'll go to book signings of her favorite authors when they're in town, and it's just her thing. And when we were sitting at this Thanksgiving dinner, somebody at the table, the gal in the family that we were with, she said, so Molly, what do you like to read? What types of books? And Molly goes, well, I love fantasy books with these different worlds and these different things happening that are, like just kind of far-fetched stuff. It's just a great escape for me. And I was thinking to myself, because I go in stretches where I read. I've gone in stretches where I read a lot of the, novels that people read in high school and college, and I went through a stretch of that. And then, anyway, I tend to enjoy more nonfiction, right? The stories of people and events and, different people who went through courageous experiences and wars or overcame obstacles or things like that. That tends to be what I lean toward when I read. And Molly's talking about like fantasy books, and she loves them. And I was thinking about it, I'm like, man, like, could you imagine if I said, Molly, you like reading fantasy books? Like, that's ridiculous. How could anybody like reading fantasy books? Because they're not my thing. Now, I would never say that to Molly because Molly absolutely loves it. And just because it's not my thing doesn't mean she's wrong. It doesn't mean... Now, I know you guys are out there saying, Greg, what are we talking about right now? You are talking to us about the types of books that your daughter likes to read. Bear with me. I'll get there. I'll turn the corner here in just a second. And I was thinking about how I would never say that to her. And it's the same thing with collecting. There are people who like buying junk wax. There are people who like buying PSA 10s only. There are people, my guy Dean likes buying PSA 2s. It's like his thing. There are people who like oddball cards. There are people who only buy Topps cards. There are people who don't care about centering. Other guys have to have it perfectly centered. Some people like pack fresh. Some people like a card that's extremely worn. Heck, I know a guy who likes pinhole cards. I love you, Mookie, so much. And the thing, Mookie, that you've taught me is that there should be appreciation for things that I used to not appreciate, like cards with pinholes. He loves looking at the pinhole, looking at the creases on the card that has the pinhole, and coming up with what his detective spidey sense tells him as the background and the history of the card. And he loves cards that have been loved. It doesn't matter what you collect. It really doesn't. And I was thinking back because, you know, I've done a couple of videos recently. I did a video like a week ago or so, and it said, the title, the thumbnail said something like, why do we keep making this mistake? Now, let me back up for a second. I don't think that if you collect differently than how I like to collect or how someone else likes to collect, that you're making a mistake. If taken literally, that is not how I intended to come across. The way I intended to come across is we can't just think that only high-graded cards are worthy of our collection. That's what I was intending to say. Now that thumbnail, if taken literally, is if you don't do things the way I do them, then you're making a big mistake. And I don't think that at all. There are people who spend thousands and thousands of dollars on cards that I don't like the looks of at all. But just like with Molly, she gets so much joy from these fantasy books, which I personally would have absolutely no interest in. And she's not wrong for loving them. That is her escape. She likes to read because it allows her an escape from the stresses and the realities of things that are going on around her. It allows her brain to relax and be excited and her imagination to explode. And that is what a hobby is supposed to be. So I just want to say, if I've ever come across to anybody that my way is the only way, that was not my intention. My intention has always been, you should absolutely do what you enjoy. I've got 6 pickups this month. 7 pickups this month. I have 7 pickups this month. And I would be willing to bet that a huge, overwhelming, probably even majority of people who might be watching this right now would go, I have no interest in owning any of those cards. None of those cards I have any interest in. But isn't that the beauty? Isn't the beauty that I am absolutely excited and thrilled to have picked up these cards? And all of you could go, no, I wouldn't want any of that stuff, but still be excited for me because I'm excited about it. See, it doesn't matter what I like. It doesn't matter what the next guy likes. It doesn't matter what anybody on YouTube or Instagram or at the card show or your friends or people you run into in the hobby. It doesn't matter what anyone else likes. It only matters what you like. And if it brings you joy, that is what you should be buying. So it doesn't matter if we like the same types of novels, books, eras, types of cards, players. The hobby is meant to be a positive place for us to enjoy an escape from all the other things, the real things in life. And what you like and what I like could be drastically different. And it doesn't make me right. It doesn't make me wrong. It doesn't make you right or wrong. The beauty is the breadth of interest from people. I want to show you 7 cards that I'm super excited to have added to my collection this month. And it's totally okay if none of you have any interest in owning any of these 7 cards. I'm totally okay with that because I'm excited about them. I'm really excited about them. 2 of them I've been wanting for a really, really long time, like over 35 years. Let me share with you my pickups from the month of November. All right, so 7 pickups, and the first one I picked up at a small auction house of non-sport cards. This is Captain Kidd. This is one of the bigger cards in that N19 set that I love so much. He is a pirate that his name and likeness has been used in a lot of the pirate movies and things. So he is a more well-known pirate than some. And this card, again, I kind of stumbled across this little auction house and this was for sale and I went for it. I just think it's fantastic looking. I thought that the condition was really, really nice. Again, these are from 1888. Here's a closer look at it. You can see his beard, and he's kind of looking over to the side there, that hat. The red just pops off of his scarf. Thrilled to pick this card up. Again, one of the bigger cards in the set. I paid $264 for it. There was I think a 6 that sold for like well over $1,000. I also picked this one up on eBay. This is Rock the Brazilian. Look at that mustache and hat. Again, I've slowly trying to put this set together. There are 50 cards in it. And was thrilled to put this one into the collection. It's getting to the point where now it's hard to find them, let alone the ones that I need. And when you find one in a decent condition, and again, a card from 1888 in an SGC 4 is really pretty darn high grade if we're being totally honest. So here's a closer look at that one. Again, the colors on these are spectacular. They were hand printed, one color at a time, and they're just fantastic. Paid $130 for this one. Free shipping, so that's a nice little addition. Next, I got nostalgic, and I went for one of my childhood dream cards. The Don Mattingly 84 Donruss. Never got one. I've never had this card. I've wanted it since, I don't know, I started collecting cards in 3rd grade. And I finally said, you know, it's time. I had some nostalgia going, talking to some buddies, and I'm just like, I'm going in. I'm buying the Mattingly. This card was an absolute dream card as a kid. And I couldn't help myself. I thought this thing looked super sharp. It's a PSA 8. I mean, is it perfect? No, but it is perfect for me. So, again, as a Yankee fan, as a kid, it was all about Don Mattingly when I was collecting as a little guy. And here is this beauty. Look at how sharp the corners are. Look at how nice the centering is. The color. That's just such a classic set, classic picture.
And I picked this one up for 80 bucks. I think it was a best offer, and he was asking 90, and I offered 80 or something, and it was just the right one. And then I stayed nostalgic, and can you believe it? I actually bought the 89 Upper Deck Ken Griffey Jr. I have never owned this card. After all these years and opening packs and wanting the card, I'm like, I'm just going to go buy one. So I decided to go with an 8. You know, a 10 goes for a couple thousand. A 9 goes for a couple hundred. And, I mean, this 8 looked really nice to me. And it's the card I've been wanting for so long. So literally, if we go back to 1990, 2 of the cards I wanted most in the world, I picked up in the same month. It just happened to be 35 years later. So the Griffey rookie card is finally mine. And here's a good look at it. Sure, it's not a 10, but look at it. It's the Griffey. It's the card. Oh, man. Such an important card to the hobby. And I bought it for $69 plus $5 shipping. Oh, thrilled. Now, this is a big month for the pirate cards. They come out in waves. Like, several will be listed, and then you won't see any for months. Out of the ones that I picked up this month, the image on this card, again, I love these not so much because of their pirates, as I love them because they're gorgeous. They're absolutely gorgeous. And the backs being intact, so many of these were put in albums. The backs on these are all great. But the color on that card, that mustache, that coat, oh my gosh. Look at the color. Tell me that's not an awesome looking card. Bart Roberts. Captain Bart Roberts. My goodness. What a beautiful image. And then I reached out to the seller privately and I said, I noticed you had a couple more. Would you cut me a deal if I bought a couple more? And he said, yeah. So this one is Mansvelt, and this is a PSA 4. And again, looking at the back, really good condition. So many of these have paper loss on the back. You know, they've got these albums that Allen and Ginter and the other tobacco companies would put out, and you'd paste them in. There'd be a little spot to put them. And so many of them were pasted in because that's what you did. And so there's just paper loss on many of them. To find one without it, and again, just look at the image, look at the registration and the color. Oh, man. Was absolutely pumped. And then I wasn't done. I got a 5th one. Look at that pirate ship in the background. Oh, my gosh. That is awesome. Peter the Great. He's got the long hair and the big hat with all the decorations on it. But that pirate ship in the ocean there, oh my goodness. And again, a really nice back. Oh, geez. This is a PSA 3. But a PSA 3 from 1888. 135 years later is like a 10 to me. And here's a better look at it. Oh, geez. You can tell I like them. You can tell I absolutely love these things. And this one, paid $130 for as well. And an awesome addition.
So what'd you think? I finally did it. I finally got the Griffey. I've wanted that card. I was getting nostalgic over Thanksgiving break, and I was texting with a group of my friends in the hobby. And I just said, you know what? Tonight's the night. I'm going to get the Griffey Upper Deck. And some people go, why would you buy one that's not a 10? Why would you buy one that's not a collector grade or a this grade or a that grade? I don't know. That's the one that spoke to me and made sense for me and my budget, and I'm thrilled to own it. I finally have the card. And then I got the Don Mattingly, which was another, a grail card as a kid. That was a grail card as a kid. 100%. And I'm pumped to have it. And then 5 of the pirate cards, that's 10% of the set. I picked up 10% of that set in the month of November, and I'm pumped about it. And I know that some people think it's completely irrational. We have to collect cards that bring us joy. Another thing that brings me joy is seeing your pickups. Even if it's not a card that I have any interest in, it's fun to share what we're buying. So here's the deal. One of my favorite parts of my pickups from the month video is it's when I open submissions for the community show and tell. Down below in the description, there's a link. That link brings you to a Google form where you have the opportunities to submit your favorite pickup from the month of November. If you could please just limit it to one pickup from the month of November. I look forward to seeing what everybody bought. I look forward to putting this video together. I'll have it open for about a week and a half. In a week and a half, I'll start editing it down. And I look forward to sharing with you all of the awesome pickups that all of you in the MidLife community have added to your collection in the month of November.